Welcome back to Adventures with Rosie, and today we are talking about how much this lifestyle costs us, and it may not be as cheap as you think.
Let's get stuck into it. Well, first off, if you're new here, welcome along. My name's Bronson.
And I'm Chelsea.
And together with our 3 children, we live full-time in this Jayco Journey Caravan here in New Zealand, South Island, New Zealand currently. And we are 8 months into our big lap of the country.
We get asked a lot about how affordable this lifestyle is and all the questions that come with it. So we thought today we would get into the numbers a bit and let's figure out what we spend on an average week.
A couple of things before we begin, a little disclaimer here. Firstly, these are obviously our numbers. They are what we spend, and they're going to kind of vary, or some of these things are going to vary a lot depending on like where you choose to stay in this sort of lifestyle, freedom camping versus say a campground, or maybe how much you eat, right? We have 3 children, they eat a lot of food. So yeah, there's a few numbers in here that are obviously you might go, oh, why are they spending that much? Yeah. Feel free as well to give us a hard time in the comments if you are wondering about anything or have any questions, by the way. But yeah, just a little disclaimer, these numbers obviously aren't your budget, they're our budget.
Secondly, as well, if you would like to follow along on our adventures, hit the subscribe button below. We do lots of videos about our travels, we do videos about topics like this as well, and the odd DIY in there as well. So. Yeah.
Alright, so part 1 is the caravan specific costs. And what we thought we'd do is kind of break this down into 3 categories: our caravan, our tow vehicle itself, and then personal costs like food, insurance, medication, things like that. Just to kind of give it a bit of a breakdown, so yeah.
So let's start with the caravan specific costs. Obviously these are going to change quite a bit for things like where you stay. There's a huge price range between campsites and freedom camping, so yeah.
We will as well look from time to time, look down at the computer. We're not trying to be rude. We just haven't memorized all of our costs in this giant spreadsheet. So campsites is a good thing to start off on. It's been all over the place for us this year. The cheapest we've had is obviously freedom camping spots. The cheapest paid would be like $5 a night, $6 a night. Anywhere up to the higher end of $50 a night at like a top 10. It's been quite tricky to try and work out because we like those cheaper spots. We like the $5 or $6 a night. We like the freedom camping. So yeah, we averaged it out about $70 a week at the moment. During winter, actually, we're paying a bit more than that per night, but in the summer that'll average back out. So yeah,
I think we're paying about $112 a week at the moment for a powered site and a campground, and that's the winter weekly rate.
And that'll be offset in the summer by some camping by the river, hopefully, as soon as it gets warmer. You would have also seen in previous videos we got a DOC pass. DOC is the Department of Conservation here in New Zealand. I guess for you American viewers like BLM. And we had a pass so we could stay on some sites. We had to buy it up front.
It's an annual pass, and you pay per adult. Kids under 5 are free, but any school age kids, I believe there is a charge as well. But that paid itself off very quickly last summer. Averaged out per week over the year, that was about $3.80, which is really good actually, because say when we went up into the Marlborough Sounds here in New Zealand, we stayed in a little bay called Elaine Bay. We stayed there for 5 nights in a row, and it's free, that pass. So yeah, a bit of an upfront cost, but if you're smart about it, you can actually really utilize that DOC pass, similar to the top of the West Coast, I think, as well. Just like you just rock up free, get your money's worth.
So if you use it, it's awesome. If you don't, it's obviously another expense.
There are times of the year that you can't use it as well. So it's off-peak times, and some campsites, even during off-peak, you can't use it. So it's worth checking on the website before you go.
Some of the awesome campsites, you just couldn't use it at all. But yeah, I think DOC pass was worth definitely having for us, and low weekly cost. In terms of cooking and heating in here, gas bottle in the front. We have 2 gas bottles. They do our fridge, our barbecue, which we use loads in the summer, and our stove. And we go through a bottle a fortnight, and that is $36 a fortnight. So $18 a week in gas. Sounds quite high to go through a gas bottle every 2 weeks, but in the summer we just use the barbecue all the time. Fridge as well, hot water as well. So pretty much we rely on gas or LPG propane basically. What else we got on there?
Our heater, we've got a diesel heater in here, an Eberspacher diesel heater. We only use it in the winter, obviously. Keeps the place very toasty, and it doesn't actually use a lot of diesel either. So we worked out we spend about $10 a week, and that's having our heater running all night, every night during the winter.
It runs during the day, sometimes on a cold day. It uses at the most, probably use a litre of fuel a day in diesel. So most expensive accessory you bought in the Caravan for sure, but it's one of those ones that it's so worth it. Also got the registration of the Caravan. Here in New Zealand, a Caravan is registered as a trailer, I think. It's quite cheap. Works out to be $2 a week. And same with our NZMCA membership, so the New Zealand Motor Caravan Association. That's what gets us into those cheap parks, those $6 a night parks. And you have $150 a year membership fee, or $100.
I think it's about $100, and then you've got a joining fee as well. That's right. That's obviously not repeated each year. But you get loads of perks like ferry tickets are just about half price. Things like whale watching's half price. You get Knoll Lemming and Torpedo 7 discounts and stuff as well. So it pays itself off really quick. All you got to do is one ferry crossing, and it's paid off your membership for the year. So
$2 for our Regio a week, and $2 for the NZMCA membership. And the last thing for the Caravan is the insurance. So the insurance just on the Caravan alone, we pay $17 a week. We pay monthly, I think, actually. You can pay them yearly, and I think it's slightly cheaper if you pay your insurance yearly.
I think so, but we prefer monthly, so it's not one big bill in one go.
That's obviously a replacement for, because this Caravan's only a few years old, it's replacement of that. And contents and things like that. So all up about $122.80 a week of Caravan specific costs.
Right, so next we're on to our car specific costs. So we drive an Isuzu MUX, and mainly because it had 3-ton towing capabilities, and you can also get 3 car seats across the back seat. So there aren't many cars that meet that criteria for us. But we love it. It doesn't cost us a lot to keep on the road. It's in pretty good nick.
So I guess the main thing, or the main sort of variable in cost, is going to be a diesel. Now we use about a tank a week. It costs us about $80 to fill it up, I think, from memory. So we average it out to about $80 a week. We the way we travel, we like to park up for a while, like for 3, 4, 5 days somewhere, and then do little day trips in the car. So we're not towing all the time, we're not hooning around the country, towing it everywhere, although if you've watched our videos, we kind of zigzag all over the South Island. But some weeks it's a little higher, some weeks it's a little less, but it seems quite economic, the car. One of the reasons we chose a smaller Caravan as well, but $80 a week for that. In New Zealand we do have road user charges, so I'm not sure how the rest of the world works for diesel vehicles, but here in New Zealand your diesel is cheaper, and then you pay a user charge for using the road on top of that, and the heavier your vehicle is, the more you pay on top of that, and that's broken down into blocks of 1,000 kilometres. This has been catching us out a little bit.
We have been travelling a lot more than we were expecting to, so we often forget to top up our mileage and go, we probably are due, let's check our kilometres and jump online, and we end up having to spend $300 or $400 just to get back to zero.
Back to where we were,
So we haven't been managing it very well. We're still like keeping it current, but
originally we factored in about $20 a week for road users. We're probably double that, to be honest, so we're averaging about $40 a week. That, as well as a diesel, obviously those two things depend on what you do. If you go and sit at the beach for a week, hey. But we like to drive walks here, walks there, exploring. We love to go on a Sunday drive somewhere. So, quite variable costs there. Regio and warrant of fitness for the car, both yearly. So, yearly Regio, yearly warrant. And we average about $5 a week, I think, covers both of those,
Car servicing and repairs. So we had a car service around cost around $500 when we last had it done. And we just had to get a new set of tyres put on recently as well. Doesn't use standard size tyres, which is fun, but it ended up being about $1,200 of tyres.
Yeah, so obviously if you're budgeting for this, you want to build something in. We originally said like $20 per week sort of in the budget for anything that crops up servicing. Obviously you're driving more, so you're towing, so you're putting more load on the car. The tyres, we knew they were going to happen at some stage. That's just tyres are one of those things, and then we needed all 4 of them. But probably $20 a week. And we also spend about $20 a week on our car insurance. So we have full cover on the car, and also AA membership, so the roadside assistance.
The breakdown assistance.
Yeah, so they come and charge your battery if you have a flat battery or whatever. So we also do actually have that on the Caravan, I should have said earlier. With your Caravan insurance, there's like they'll tow it a certain distance, or they'll help you with repairs and that sort of thing. So yeah, one of those things, $20 a week on insurance, but we can't do without it.
No.
So total costs for our car, just the tow vehicle itself, average about $165 a week. But again, just depending on where we drive, what we do, but round about there.
Alright, so next we are on to personal costs. These kind of come under the family banner, family expenses. So things like food, we spend about $350 a week on. Obviously it's very subjective. We're a family of 5, we've got 3 kids who eat so much food, and we like to go to cafes and get coffee while we're out and about.
Yeah, nice meat
for drinks
for the barbecue.
every now and then. Yeah. So we don't eat on the cheap, but food here in New Zealand is quite expensive anyway, so you can get up there pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, those of you that are from New Zealand will know you throw a few things in the trolley after work, and then you spend $100 when you walk out of the supermarket. And obviously, like meat and stuff in New Zealand's not that cheap either. Like we like to buy free range meat and that sort of thing. So that sort of stuff does add up. And then like if we go to a town, there's a cool burger joint or a cool takeaways or something. We do like to eat out as well. So we could save money here if we wanted. Obviously, we could buy less beer and wine, I guess, as well. But we have 3 children, so we
it's a necessity.
But yeah, that's going to vary wildly depending on what you eat and what your diet is and
the size of your family.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And that cost obviously just shifted when we moved into the Caravan. So there are some things when you shift into the Caravan, like you got no power bill now because you got solar on the roof, but your food stayed the same, right? Yeah. So there's a few costs like that. Yeah. Laundry would be another thing that's not been as cheap as we thought.
Yeah. So we go to a laundromat probably around every 5 or 6 days, right?
Yeah.
The kids go through a lot of clothes while we try and put them in waterproof overalls when they step outside. It's just not practical for every time. So yeah, we try and keep them clean, but they're kids and they're playing outside, so they're going to go through a lot. So yeah, about every 5 or 6 days we go to the laundromat, and it ends up costing us about $30 a week for washing and drying.
We do a couple of loads.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't dry stuff in here, like it's not practical. In summer you could, if you're staying somewhere, you can put it on the clothesline, but you're normally doubling down. Some small towns as well here that might be quite expensive, like it might be say $4 a load for washing, and we might need to put 2 or 3 loads on.
Yeah.
And then the dryer might be like $4 for 20 minutes. The campground we're staying at actually right now is awesome. It's $2 for an hour of drying, which is, although the dryers aren't.
Yeah, they're hit and miss. Sometimes they work. Sometimes you've got to put them on 3 times to get a load of laundry dry. So.
But yeah, that was one cost I think we thought would be a little bit cheaper, And then we kind of realised that there is a chain of laundromats through New Zealand called Liquid, which are quite good.
You just get a prepaid card and tap it on the machines when you're using them.
Every time you spend $100, they give you a bonus $5 credit as well, which you always, free money, but you just spend $100. But yeah, one of those things is definitely not as cheap as we thought, especially when it comes to like doing bedding. So like we want to wash all the kids' sheets one day and bedding in the bunk. If you're at home, you just chuck them in the machine and tick them over, but carrying armfuls of sheets down a laundromat, $4 here, $4 there. So we averaged it out to about $30 a week. Obviously cheaper if you don't have 3 kids like ours that love to get muddy and grubby all the time. Now, another personal cost for us is insurance. Chelsea and I and the kids have like health insurance, life insurance.
Brods and I have life insurance, not the kids. Yeah. The kids have health insurance, so pretty decent plans as well. It's not something we skimp on. Over the years, we've been in situations where we've needed it, and it's been a real blessing that it's been there. So, we definitely could be getting cheaper insurance, but we've picked the plans that we're using for a reason. And
it costs us about $80 a week as a family. Quite funny, actually. Some of you have been watching for a while will know that my father just had a heart attack. He's doing all right now. But we literally, 2 days before he had his heart attack, we talked about how expensive our insurance was when we were visiting our budget. And do we need it? Don't we need it? And Dad actually has the same policy as we do. He's on with the same insurance company, and straight away, like, his costs are covered. He can't work for 6 months. That's covered.
Yeah.
Driving, everything was just straight away covered. So it kind of cemented for us that, like, it is a cost. It is an expensive cost, but we wouldn't be without it.
Yeah.
If you're in America and you're watching this, you're probably wondering why are they talking about insurance, but it's slightly different over way down here in the bottom of the world. We have free healthcare here in New Zealand, accident stuff. But if you want anything above that, private hospitals, elective surgeries, that sort of thing, then you have to have insurance. So,
and it covers things like your mortgage repayments if you're unable to work and that type of thing. So income protection insurance and all sorts. So we deem it necessary. We could be cheaper, but
it is what it is. And I guess the final thing, which is kind of tricky to work out and summarize, but that is activities.
There's so many amazing things to do that we come across on our travels, and it can quickly add up. Costs here and there for 5 of us to go and do something. Some of them are big activities where you don't mind. They're the kind of things you do probably once in a lifetime.
Like your whale watching or that sort of thing.
You don't mind splashing a bit of cash for something like that. Other things are just lots of little things throughout the week that tend to add up a bit. So it works out to be about $100 a week that we've figured out that we spend on activities. But we could definitely be doing it cheaper, but we don't want to miss out on these things when we're already here,
So you're talking like, museum visits and... I guess kind of like, say when we're in Dunedin, like we had that week in Dunedin, we went out and visited the castle, like you had to pay to get in there, and then the museum we had to pay to get in with the butterfly house and that sort of thing. So it's kind of, we don't mind those things because they're quite educational for Harvey, and obviously a good way to learn the history of an area.
And they're a fun day out as well as a
definitely,
family.
Yeah. But because we're out and about and we're exposed to more activities, we'd spend more than if we're at home with the same kind of activities, I suppose. But that again could be a lot lower or higher depending on what you do. Things like as well, when we're in where we are now, we were taking boat trips up into the Abel Tasman National Park, and those sort of things just cost money.
Yeah.
So about $560 if we say $100 of activities, which probably is in the summer, we're about $560 a week of personal costs. So the grand total per week, drum roll.
$847.80. It does seem quite high when we put it down on paper.
It does, yeah. I guess it's more expensive than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But you're probably sitting there going, there's probably some number we just talked about that you disagree with or you think's quite high.
Several of them.
And that's fine. We want to experience a lot in this year. We don't want to kind of have any regrets about I wish we'd done that, or we should have spent that little bit of money to do X, Y, Z.
And we want to live comfortably as well. We don't want to be scrimping and saving on every penny and just missing out on things that we can do while we're here. Yeah.
And that's why I still work, half days. YouTube doesn't pay the bills.
We wish it.
I think the most we made in a month on YouTube was $300 ad revenue, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That covers some of the costs for sure. But we're not like them big famous YouTubers that make millions. But that's why I still work. We don't want to just rely on savings and that sort of thing. No. So it's we see it, I guess, kind of as an extended holiday. We could do things, like I said, cheaper, but yeah. And I mean, in saying that as well, if you've got anything you want clarification on, or you think one of our numbers is absolutely ridiculous, or a hack maybe for how we can save some money, fire them away in the comments. If there's enough of them, we might do a little video response to that, or talk about it on a live stream or something. But yeah, those are our numbers.
Those are it. Yep.
Cheaper, more expensive than you thought.
More expensive than I thought.
Yeah. I think once you start putting them in and typing them out, you kind of realise.
Yeah,
pretty expensive. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea said up the top, we put out weekly videos of our travels. We have fortnightly live streams on Friday nights now, where we hang out with you guys, answer questions that you may have about these sort of topics, and kind of let you know what we're up to and that sort of thing. So if that interests you, subscribe, and we will see you in a few days with our next video.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.